women share, to be bold and take risks. Vault talks, women say what they feel and mean what they say. Yeah. Vault talks, believe in your power, so much power. Yeah. Vault talks, where women share, women share.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Vault Talk Women Share. We are back. We're excited. We have new faces. We're on a new platform, and we indeed have new content. Ladies, how y'all feeling this morning?
Awesome. Good. Awesome. Great.
Oh, I know, right? So we're going to start off the show just to let people know what we're about, just in case we have some new listeners, new viewers. I got to get used to saying that. So for those of you who might be new to Vault Talks Women Share the Virtual Experience, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy morning to share with us. So Vault Talks Women Share originally was a radio show founded right here in Chicago. And so we started this journey back in 2018. Amazing journey. It was myself, Gabby Surrett, aka Gabby Sue, and Isha, who is here with us now. So now we had taken it to the next level, and here we are. Vault Talks Women Share the Virtual Experience. So we're really excited to bring this to you guys. It has been quite the journey to just prepare it and just make sure everything was smooth and sound. And it's always a great thing when you have women who operate on purpose for a purpose, like these women here. So let me go back and share a little bit about Vault Talks Women Share. And so Vault Talks Women Share the Virtual Experience is a platform full of empowerment. It's a place where women can come together to learn more and share more about their world. It's on this platform. On this platform, we'll be able to share about entrepreneurship, love, relationships, current events, and always ways to be empowered as women. So with that being said, I want to take the amazing opportunity to share with you guys who these amazing women are. So meet the ladies of Vault Talks. Isha, you're up first.
You love putting me on the spot, don't you?
I do. You love it too.
Well, like she said, my name is Aisha. I'm originally from Mississippi. I was in Chicago a little while ago where I met Takara. I'm so grateful that I met her and started co-hosting Vault Talks Women Share. I don't know if you guys read my bio or not, but I have a background in social work. I've worked in mental health, nonprofit, education, and I love helping people become better versions of themselves. So I'm just happy to be here. Happy we're back up and going.
Yes. I did not sleep last night. Oh, I was like, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Is it time yet? I mean, because
Right.
this time is always amazing because we meet women all over the world. We have viewers from Africa to where? Bangkok to Canada, so to the UK. So it's just an amazing experience to have all these women aboard that really believe in the vision from all over the world. So Liz,
Hey
how
y'all.
about you?
So I'm Liz. Originally, I'm from Chicago as well, but I
Woo-hoo.
reside here in New York. So I'm from both. My family, much love to y'all. But a little bit about myself is, I've always been passionate going through myself. I became a new mom. So it's making me eye opener because they say once you're a mom, you're never the same. Can never go backwards. So I am just enjoying being loving on this little boy here.
Aw.
And then on top of that, it's making me open my eyes to like what I really want out of life. And it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to start. Okay. So for people out there who are just like, well, my time is limited. No, you got all the time of the world. Just do it now. Okay. So I'm really passionate about music and writing and getting back into that. And I think my love for that is also going to translate into maybe like a music therapy for children. So I'm looking forward to getting that started.
Yes, and what she did not say that I'm going to get her to say is that she's a singer and songwriter. Our theme music was written by yours truly. So
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
She's so talented, and we're so happy to have her here. So who's next? Who's next? We're going to go with the heavy hitter here. Tasha Kelly, come on to the stage.
Hello, guys. Tasha Kelly here, or as everyone knows me as Lady Tasha Kelly. Amen. Okay. So, yes, okay. No, but I am. I currently reside in South Florida, but I am originally from East St. Louis, Illinois. So East Boogie is in the house. Amen. So all my East Boogie fellows out there, I'd like to say hello to you. As I said, I dwell in South Florida. I am married of 12 years, amen, which is in these days, that's a lot to be said, even just 12 years, amen. So, and we have 2 beautiful children, and I have 2 adopted children as well that are grown. So, yes, I am just happy to be a part of this. I'm excited for what the Father is doing in and through this, and I just can't wait to see what he's getting ready to just through Vault Talks, Takara, and just all of it. I love these ladies on here. Only know them a while, but just their spirit, I mean, literally just resonates. So I'm just excited, and I could go on, but I'll stop right there.
That's what I love about Tasha. She's like, okay, and cut. Exit stage left. I know my role, and I'm out. Deuce. I love it. She's been like that since I've been knowing her. Last but not least, Roberta Knox.
Hello, ladies. My name is Roberta Knox, and I am from St. Louis, Missouri, the Show Me State, right? So I have been married to this amazing man for 16 years. I've got a 14-year-old son, and my background is actually in communications and technology. I'm actually working for my church right now as a kids director. So this platform, I am so excited about being here with you guys. I am just really ready for this, and I think the world is ready for this, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So
right.
Woo! That was huge. I wasn't expecting the world is ready for this. Come on and prophesy here.
That's right.
Amen, and let the church say amen again. We receive that and lift up. So, normally what we do around this time, and we're about to kick it off right now, we go into talking about a quote that our very own Isha Donaldson created. Isha, the influencer. You can follow her on Instagram. It's all one word. Did I just shout you out? I think I did.
You did.
So we're going to go into today's quote, and it reads as such. The success of one woman should be the inspiration to another, not the imitation. We should help one another build what's broken and tear down what's blocking. One more time for the people all the way in the back. The success of one should be the inspiration to another, not the imitation. We should help one another build what's broken and tear what's blocking.
The intimidation. I'm sorry, Takara. That's what it is.
That's okay.
Not the intimidation. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not the intimidation.
Right.
So who wants to dive in first?
You know what? I will. I'm going to take this on.
Go ahead.
So I find that growing up, it was a really hard time coming into this world knowing that I just didn't have a lot of female friends. Okay, I'm gonna start with that. It was tough for me just figuring out, like, well, what am I putting out there for you not to like me?
Wow.
You know, like, what am I doing? And if no one tells me, how am I, well, I'm just gonna continue doing me. But what I found is that when we're able to help each other, because growing up throughout the stages of my life, I can really go back and sit there and say, like, I have friends that I've known since grammar school in Haiti. Um, a little background about myself. I living in Chicago. I moved from Chicago to Haiti when I was 12 years old. Stayed there until I was about 15. Moved to then New York, and then I've kind of like moved and ventured to other places. Um, but with my Haitian friends, I literally have now a connection with them, and those were the two girls that kind of set the path of me now having or generating that type of encouragement and that wealth when it comes to sisterhood, and really understanding where that came from. Um, so you can't. There's something that you could do for yourself, yes, but to have that support behind you from another sister, or a friend or a cousin or another woman, is will knock you out of this world. You'll feel encouraged, you'll feel empowered. There's nothing like that. But I believe when it comes time to like really push forward and really do what you need to do, um a lot of women just feel intimidated because they look at you and they're like, oh, well, I don't like, or they have something against you, or they hold something against you. And I hope that we can like move past that, and it's wondering how can we push past that. Um so it's, what's the word I'm getting to? It's really getting to the fast of us really understanding who we are as a woman, and how to like really reach out to that person and let them feel as though they can let that guard down. So I'm gonna
That's
end
good.
there for now because I'm still trying to collect my thoughts on that end too. So
Well, I think you said something really key. A lot of women think just by looking at the outside that somebody has it all together, right? Or the things that they're putting on Facebook or wherever, or even the things that they're allowing to come out of their mouths. However, some people just fake the funk because they have to fit in, and they can literally be secretly going through something. And the thing is that as women, we hold things. We're carriers. And so when I say we hold things, okay, we birth babies, we hold babies for 9 months. We are the ones who carry the weight of everybody on our family. Let's just be real. Men, they're leaders, but we carry the weight of things. When a solution needs to be brought to the table, 9 times out of 10, it's the woman coming up with the idea. And men, if you're a real man, you'll be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I said that. But as women, there's a lot of pressure being a woman, period. And so when you're looking at the life of a woman, you're like, man, she got it together, woo, woo, woo. And you want to some women want to secretly be the next woman, not knowing that she got trash going on. She's just making it look beautiful, So that's why I know for me, and I'm really transparent about where I've been, where I'm going, because I don't want to hide that from no one. Because the thing is that we are influencers. Women are positioned to be influencers. We're influencers in our community, influencers in our family. We're mentors to tons of women, little girls. And so why not be transparent about this is a struggle, this is how you overcome it. And if they decide to take on your advice, then they do. And if they don't, that's up to them. But your success lies in your identity. Who you are to your core is your success. So if you choose to be fake and phony, then if you feel like that's successful, okay, cool. But that's not for me. And I know that's not for the ladies that are tuning in, or at least the ladies that are on this broadcast with me now. The thing is we've gone through so much to where we don't want to live a fake life anymore. We understand that our lives can literally transform other women's lives by simply being transparent. We overcome by our testimony. There's success in the test. So why not share what we've gone through so someone else can be like, you know what, me too. And I didn't know the strategy of how to overcome that until I encountered you. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for being real with me, because I don't have that role model in my family, or I don't have that role model in my community, or I don't know how to be who I am called and created to be, because I've never seen that successfully done. So the thing is that the success of a woman should be the inspiration, because we should be driven to inspire one another as sisters, no matter what we look like, no matter where we come from, we should be able to lean on the success of another and be like, I want you to help me to get to where I need to be. Is there anything I can do for you? How can I serve you to help you get to where you need to be? Those are the conversations that we need to have that aren't being had, because women are intimidated by the success of another woman, which is mind-blowing to me. But we can win if we only connected with one another.
Yeah. And you said something, Takara. You said we secretly go through things. I mean, it's not so much of a secret as it's not out in the open for everybody to see all the time. Like, you know, some people keep certain things to themselves for the reason of, if I share this with you, you'll take it and probably spread it or gossip or whatever. So we hold those things close, and then we portray, you know, I put our best face and foot forward in the open. So it's not that necessarily like it's secret, but, you know, I know everybody is struggling with something. Right. I don't care, you know, what it is. I don't care how much you smile and try to, you know, whatever. And it's not necessarily faking it. It's just like we still have to keep going in the midst of everything.
And I say secret because it's not out in the open.
Yeah.
You know? So you're not making it known to everybody that you're struggling with such and such and such.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because it's not that, the comfortability to share.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but a lot of that goes back to environment, for one. You know, what kind of environment were we around? Do we feel vulnerable enough to share? And then this one right here that always blows me: what goes on in the house stays in the house. So we take that mentality and literally carry that forever, not understanding that you need to share. You need to be vulnerable. Once you feel comfortable with, you know, who can really hold you up accountable to whatever it is that you're going through, whether it be a therapist, whether it be a best friend, somebody, because secretly struggling, it's tough. You're literally going around the mountain, you're trying to go up the mountain, and a lot of times the help that we need is a hand away, meaning that they're right in our vicinity, but we're so, what goes on in the house stays in the house. We get scared to come out of that box and even share what's going on because of what people are going to think and what they're going to say. And that goes back to your identity, but that takes work. Not everybody can just arrive at the scene and be okay with that. You know, there's different things and, you know, levels within us that have to be destroyed for us to even embrace the help of another.
Yeah, and I think it's a generational thing as well as community.
Absolutely.
You never know. The person next to you could be going through the exact same thing, but if you don't open up and open your mouth, how can you two be able to help each other?
Right.
So that's what I've come to discover recently. And it's just like we have to get to a place to where we can kind of build that trust and kind of lean on each other. Because like you said, the success of one should really inspire you, but it speaks to some things that we're not doing. If we see somebody doing something that we like, you know, and it probably convicts us in a sense to say, okay, well, she's doing this, you know, I feel like I want to do that, or I should be doing that, but I'm not. And it's just like, okay, if you're not, nothing's stopping you but you. So that's the process of getting out of your own way, and then just step to her and be like, hey, how did you do this? Or how can I do this? Or how can, you know, it's just a simple conversation, but we are so caught up in self that it's hard to kind of step outside of that and ask for that type of help.
That's good.
I think that too, you know, we spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to other people, you know, and that's kind of what makes us feel just right there. You know, what is she doing? Or, you know, her education, her background, you know, we just spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to each other. We should be focusing on ourselves, just like Aisha said, we should be focusing on ourselves. And when that happens, you kind of have to take a look at your circle too. You know, you should be with women who, either women are going to bring out the best in you or they're going to bring out the worst in you, right? So you really have to look at your circle, because you definitely want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are going to lift you up, who's going to encourage you, you know, who's going to be praying for you, right? And I think that that's what we got to focus on. Just focus on being in the right circle.
Yes.
I would like to go back to something that like Liz and Takara said in the beginning. And one of the things that stuck out to me personally was when you talked about identity, and it made me think about Takara because she's the identity coach. Okay. So one of the things that I heard from that quote that spoke volumes to me is that growing up in East St. Louis, I always had this thing, you know, where I felt like I never belonged, okay, when it came to women. And I think it was simply because I had this inner thing going on within me, which is about identity, where I felt like I wasn't white enough to be white and I wasn't black enough to be black, okay? So that was within me, that was identity thing.
Wow.
I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know how to identify as being white or how to identify as being black. So what I found myself was, when I was around a certain class of people, I would act white, whatever that was. And if I was around black people, I would act black, whatever that was. But what it boiled down to is that I did not know who I was. So I was imitating other people that kept me on this journey of just being this chameleon. And I could shape and mold myself into whoever they wanted me to be.
Wow.
So it boiled down to me with identity. So one of the things that stuck out, I think like a week ago, I posted a picture of me wearing a head wrap, okay? And I posted that picture because I've always wanted to do that. I worked with Takara, I worked with another young lady, and they wore head wraps. But I never thought I was black enough to actually wear a head wrap. So I put that head wrap on and I posted it because it was all about identity. And when you know who you are, you can look at the success of other people and it inspires you. But when you don't know who you are, you begin to want to imitate what they do. You become jealous of what they're done. But when you know who you are, it doesn't matter what the people around you do, because I have an identity of my own. And I really believe that identity first starts in the foundation. And, you know, I will always bring it back to the Father, is knowing the Father. And in the Father, you begin to realize who you really are. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, we definitely can expect some church wherever Tasha's in the building. She's gonna reference the Father, and she's gonna make us say amen. I love it. Tasha, what you shared is really deep, super deep. And you know, I know you, never heard you really talk about, you know, that struggle to identify yourself either as one or the other. What can you say to women who may be like you, that are who battle with this? Like, how do they really come into owning their own? I know it's definitely a process for sure, but you really made me think about, wow. I mean, I don't know, ladies, am I the only one that like really had to sit with what she was saying? That was kind of heavy, you know. And
no, that was deep on that end.
Yeah.
I honestly think it came from a place of, because I grew up in East St. Louis, and now you see me giving shout outs to East St. Louis and East Boogie. But at a point in my life, I think I was ashamed of being Black, because I was mistreated by Black people in my community. In other words, going to school, people treated me, you think you're cute because you're light skinned with long hair. So as a result of that, I became ashamed of my Blackness. And I had to own it. Like, this is who I am. It doesn't matter what the color of my skin is. I am Black, no matter what you say or how you. So at the end of it, I would say it just comes down to owning who you are, owning your Blackness, owning your individual things that make you unique. And once you own those things, you can actually walk in them. And it wasn't until recently, into the writing of my book, Not My Mother's Daughter. In other words, the book is all about coming out of what the world has tried to shape you and mold you into. Instead of me being this confused person, you know, am I white? Am I Black? You know, what am I? I'm owning my Blackness, you know, because one thing that I learned is nothing else. The world will show you who you are. And I learned that early on, being on the bus and for the first time experiencing discrimination. That boy told me, you're Black. And I had to own it. In other words, I don't want you sitting next to me because you're Black. And in that moment, it made me resonate, because I was on a ski trip and I was doing something I thought was white. And in that moment, it made me realize it doesn't matter what people say. I'm Black, so own whatever you are. If you're Black, whatever it is that the Father has put into you, whatever it is that you're walking in, own it. That's your identity, and go with it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where your confidence comes from as well. Once you really sit down with yourself and what people deem as your flaws, and really get comfortable in your own skin, and just once you do that, people can't use that against you.
Right.
Like it's like sticks and stones. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words, like no matter what you say, it does not hurt me. So you're gonna have to pick something else to try to bring me down, because I've built myself up enough, to be fine with just the way I am. Yeah.
And I love that, because that whole confidence piece comes with just stripping off layers of what people said, and what they think about you, and you internalizing that, and we can overthink a thing to where we start believing it. And so really going back to the process of relearning who we are without the opinions of others, and that really is where you are able to build your confidence, because now you're in this place like, I love me, I own me. So I am awesome. It goes back to the affirmations that I always talk about, knowing who you are and speaking that into yourself. So you resonate with the I am, which resonates with the original I am. So you declare who you are. He continues to affirm who you are. So nothing can shake you. Nothing can touch you. Someone comes up and tries to say, woo, woo, you're like, I am, blah, blah, blah. And that takes a boldness like no other. To be like, no, that's not it. And you can have your opinion, you can chew it, you can take it to the bank all day, but that's not who I am. And I refuse that part. Understanding your boundaries. Somebody can come up and say something to you, but you have to build that strong wall to let it bounce off, so you don't allow for yourself to get back into the place where you struggled and did the work to deliver yourself from. Let's talk about that. Self-deliverance. That part. It's real.
But when you are delivered from the insecurities and all the hurt and the put down from other people, it could be misconstrued as, cockiness or, that type of thing. And it's just like, people don't understand the work that it took for me to get to this point. And I'm definitely not going to go back just because you feel some type of way. It's just like, you have to meet me where I am. And it's not anything against you, but as an individual, you have to build yourself up in order to ultimately fulfill the purpose that God has put you here to fulfill.
That part. And that's your focus, like Roberta was saying. Shift your focus. And that takes work. That takes I teach my clients all the time. You have to go back down to the root system, and your root system is your family. Where did these things come from? So you can make yourself aware of, okay, that came from that came from that. Okay, that makes sense why I'm struggling with this. So now I have to do the work, because no one's going to do it for you. Let's say that part. A therapist can't do it for you. A life coach can't do it for you. They can lead you to the grass, but it's up to you to eat it. So at the end of the day, you have to really make up your mind and say, I'm done with the old. I'm embracing my new, and I don't care what anybody says. When you can get to that part, that's freedom. And that allows for you to be so real with other people who, want to connect with you. And you say, yeah, this is what I went through. I went through this. I went through the divorce. I went through the abortion. Yeah, I got kicked out of work, because I was a radical. Whatever your story is, being able to boldly own that, because it's yours. But that's not who you are, but your success comes from the overcoming thereof. So that's powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good, because I think that people get stuck in their past. They get stuck in the past, same mindset. Some people even say, because my parents went through this, because my siblings went through this. Well, you can skip that generation. You can skip it and do something different, do something better with your life. You don't always have to follow what happened through your family traits. You know what I mean? So get out the past and keep moving forward.
But that's powerful. It goes back to what you said earlier, Roberta, just changing your circle. And I love that part, because changing your circle, people feel like they have to serve people an official written eviction notice saying, I am no longer your friend anymore. Can you sign here? No, it ain't gonna be like that.
I don't do that.
You know, it's
That's right. You gotta clean up that circle sometimes. Let me tell you, Takara, I went through Facebook. I went through so much to clean up that circle, and it feels so much better. Now I'm surrounded by women who I know that are gonna love me unconditionally, right? And it feels good. Sometimes you just gotta clean it up.
It's amazing when you realize you're like, all right, this is not working.
Right.
And I say what I say because you hear some people, no shade to anybody who does this, but making the formal announcement on Facebook that you're cleaning up your friends list, things of that nature. I'm doing some spring cleaning, so give me an emoji if you still want to be my friend. Like, I ain't got time for all that. So that's what I'm saying. We don't have to serve you an official notice talking about I don't want to be your friend anymore. It goes back to something that I'm talking about in a course that I'm teaching on Sunday nights. It's called ID Me 101, and we were talking about boundaries last week. So just creating those boundaries. You can X somebody out your life without giving them the official, eviction notice, because if you are anything of value to their life, they're not going to sign on the dotted line anyways. So you got to do what you need to do to protect your purpose, your identity, your new walk. So putting that boundary there, and it's okay. Some people are like, oh, well, I have to be such and such's friend because we have history. No. History doesn't mean that they're part of your destiny. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just that eviction notice part. People trip me out when they're like, I'm like, you better set that boundary up.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that like I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's just like the relationship doesn't resonate with where I am right now. Like people grow at different rates. So if I've leveled up and then you're still, doing things that I don't particularly do anymore, it's just like it's not gonna work. No hard feelings, but I have to keep going and pursuing what it is that God has put here for me to do. It's I would love to sit here and play pity pat all day, but we have stuff that we have to do, and it's just like people just outgrow people, and it's not that I don't like you anymore, none of that. It's just like we have a life to live, and we have to keep living.
Right. That's it.
Can I add a step 2 to that? Because for me personally, I could say my inner circle is really small. I keep my inner circle small, but I would say the circle that I need to, and this is just a play on words, the circle that I need to clean up is the inner circle, the inner man, the one that's speaking to me, speaking all those negative things to me that's telling me that I have no worth, that I have no value, that what makes me think that I'm better than the next person. So sometimes it first needs to start with yourself and cleaning up the inner man that's speaking all those negative things to you and telling you that you have no value. Who would want to listen to you on, Vault Talks Women Share? So literally for me, it would be cleaning up the inner man and getting rid of him and giving him an eviction notice and telling him, we're not friends anymore. I broke it up with you. You have an eviction notice. So for me, that's where it resonates with me because my circle's already small. So as you guys were talking, I was thinking, I can't get rid of anybody else in my circle. That would be my but I need to get rid of that inner man that's speaking negativity to me and telling me that I have no value.
Right. Yeah. And that's a daily thing. That's a practice in order to kind of cancel that voice out because it's a battle every day, whether or not which one we listen to. So, that's a constant practice. I mean, we can't get rid of ourselves. So, that's a daily battle that we have to fight.
That's true. Say the power is in your tongue. The power is in your tongue. It will destroy you if you let it, right?
Yeah.
So you said something powerful. You said you got to deal with you every day, and I'm going to challenge that. Some people don't deal with them.
So,
They don't deal with them, and then it's they expect for us to deal with them, but they don't deal with them. Now that's a whole other show.
Right.
that's true. That is true.
This is amazing. So we're thankful for everybody that's tuning in. Gloria, oh hey girl. Sorry, she is in the Honduras. She's been on the show before. You guys follow her. Yeah, I'm giving her a shout out. Her name's Gloria Rivera. She's amazing. Her art is so amazing. She does art on clothes. Some of her stuff was featured here in Chicago before she left us. Yep, I said it. She left us to go to the Honduras, but it was a struggle. I'm like, you can't go. But, following her journey in the Honduras is amazing. So follow her if you guys love art. So we're gonna transition, and I'm gonna let Isha take the floor and take it away, Ish. What we're talking. What's the next segment we're gonna talk about a little bit today?
Let's see. I know we just talked about, sisterhood and that type of thing. But one thing that we can't not talk about, like the elephant in the room, and I know we were having such a good time, discussing this, but we are still going through COVID. Like we're dealing with COVID-19, and we're not trying to glorify it in any type of way. So we want to speak on the positive sides. And I think this show is one of the positive things that has come out of, us being at home and, not having to go out and that type of thing. So, I just want us to kind of discuss, like, how has this time blessed us? Because God is doing something right now, and I love what he's doing. So how are you guys like dealing at home? Like, what's the family life like? Just speak a little bit on that.
You know what? Before we go into that, if I can, let's give a moment of silence for those who may be watching who have lost a loved one during this time or a close friend, because I know that there are some people who may be tuning in that have dealt with a loved one actually dying during this time. So we're gonna give just a real quick moment of silence, and then we're gonna hop right back in. Okay, so how have we been dealing with COVID during these times? Who wants to go first? How about the mommies who got kids at home that are now
I go first. Let me tell y'all. Okay. I had the baby back in January, and he is officially about to, like a week away from being 4 months. And I'm treasuring this time. Not just because I had a child and this is my first, but because I'm also learning more about myself and what it is that I want out of life. Okay. I've really been doing some soul searching, been digging deep into those places where we just talked about, like inner self. And really trying to open up my mind, my perception, everything is shifting. And a baby will do that to you, okay? But but also in the way of keeping me grounded as to who I am, what I've become, and where I'm going. Okay. Um, it's been eye-opening. I've been doing so many things. I've been, working with Takara, going back and forth and having these open therapy type of sessions and whatnot. Isha knows as well, and the ladies are also getting to know me really well for that. And I'm still struggling with a couple of things, but this is the perfect timing that I said, you know what? I was like, I don't get how women go back to work after 3 months. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't seem like enough time to bond with your child. It doesn't seem like it's just enough. And this time has really allowed me to say, okay, well, you know what? God does things for reasons. And I'm very thankful that I have the extra time to just be with my child and also work on myself, and also know that I don't want to go back to corporate America, and corporate America is not for me. Okay. Um, so really trying to dig in and dig deeper and really understand, like, you know what? I've been pushing my dreams to the side before the baby had came about, but I've been pushing that to the side. I need to regroup and reevaluate and get back into where I'm supposed to be. So it's been really a eye-opening experience, and also a I'm glad I'm home because I get to spend more time with this little being that I've created. And now, and also being able to connect with other women, connect with just people in general. It's not just women, because men as well. I'm having a better relationship. I'm having those hard open conversations with them, and it's allowing me to come to a place where it's like, okay, revelation. So yeah, I'm not sitting at home just like, I'm not gonna front. We all have those moments where we're just being lazy. I ain't doing nothing, watch a little too much TV. We have our distractions, but at the same time, it's like, okay, let me reel it on back. Something in my heart is pushing me to do something else. Let me go ahead and write. Let me go ahead and get this poem together. Let me turn this poem into a song. I've done a lot of that, and it's been working, and it's been hitting me in a place where it's like only God, like whether you're religious or God, or it's the universe, or it's the universe telling you something. That's exactly what my last year has been like. COVID just did another, you know 180 on me and said, okay, you're not done yet, keep going.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that part. And that's what I was saying in conversation the other day with someone. It's just like, God has prepared me for this moment before it happened. So whereas it may have come to a shock to others, I was ready for it. So that's why I'm able to be comfortable and kind of push out some of the things that, like you said, we have been kind of running from. Because Liz, I know you and I had several conversations about, what it is that we wanted to do, and why we hadn't done it yet. So I think this is a great time to really unveil those hidden talents that we never had the time to discover and just create. And I think that's what God is wanting us to do, is to get back to what he put in us, the gifts that he's given us, and kind of, exercise those and put those to work. But time at home, homeschooling, and cooking 2 and 3 times a day, and cleaning up and playing and entertaining, and it's just like, all right, God, you showing me something else now. So, what are you preparing me for now? Because I've never cooked this much in my life.
Look, Nene would say, looky.
I was not ready, but I enjoy it. Like I'm cooking things that I've never even, tried before. I didn't even know I could cook like this. So,
Come on.
I'm over here wishing good. I'm like, Ish, what's good? Like, this looks yum on her Instagram. I'm like, how's that?
That squash you made the other night. I'm like, oh,
it was good. And Cameron ate it. He was looking like, what is this? But he enjoyed it. So
yeah,
it was good. But yeah, just spending more time going outside, actually, exercising, and just taking time to really get back to you and do some of the things that you want to do. I think this is perfect for that, regardless of, not really knowing if we can return back to work or when that time would be. It's just like live in the moment and take advantage of the time now, because we realized, like, we were going to work every day. Oh, I'm ready to go home. I want to go home. And, you're rushing to get home. And now you're at home, and it's just like, you got what you asked for. But I think we'll come to realize that we don't really know what we want. We think we know, but we're never really satisfied as human beings. Because once we get what we asked for, it's just like, oh, I don't want this. I want something else. So I think it's all about realizing, like, be present and take advantage of that moment, and not worry about the future, not worry about the past. Just like be present in the moment.
I love that. That's powerful. I know for me, I came off my job back in September. And so this is quite the adjustment, just continually realizing my gifts and how I can implement them in this business and that business. And for me, it's been a time of God just really going back and just taking me through different things that I've been through and things that I've done. Like I have notebooks full of stuff. So he's literally taking me back through the notebooks and saying, it's time to do this. It's time to develop that. And it's interesting because it's one thing to write it out, but it's another thing to live it out. And so God is causing me to live out some things that I wrote even 2 years ago. Now it's time to do the things. And so it's interesting because I am shifting and pivoting, even me personally developing. And now in my business, I'm adding, subtracting, and this little crooked. Let me bring a little alignment to this, and it's so fulfilling to really see who you are the more. And these times literally have you in a place to where I know for me, I can be in the creating zone all day and look up and be like, it's 8 o'clock. Did I eat today? Or on the phone or on a conference call, coaching call, and literally like, I'm enjoying this. And it doesn't seem like labor because it's purpose. And so, that whole creating space, it's going to a whole nother level. Now, I will be transparent. There was a time, even this week where I felt heavy and I'm like, what is that about? And what I have to remember is for me, normally heaviness is a sign of breakthrough. And so the heaviness comes on me to distract me. And so I have to continue to remember when I feel heavy, something good is about to happen. And so, so it's just, really paying attention to self more because you're not distracted by, work issues or people coming to you at work say, girl, how you doing today? And you trying to be in your zone in your cubicle doing you. So for me, it's just been another element of just elevating to the next level and evolving and realizing what is in me, that it's now time for it to come out. And it's so exciting because I don't have kids, okay? But, I'm pregnant with purpose. And so now things are being birthed out. And so it's so amazing. And even Talks Women Share, this is huge for us to be back where we are, when we are. We were targeted to come back in March, but the timing was just off. And I wasn't clear on who these other faces, AKA Tasha and Roberta, who was supposed to be joining the family. And so God literally started to show me. And so here we are. And so I'm really excited about even just this platform being able to impact the lives of many during such an interesting time. Because for me, God is a God of purpose and timing. So even in the midst of this, beautiful things are being birthed, beautiful things are happening. It's just a matter of us shifting our eyes and our beliefs to see what's really going on. Because if you stay focused on watching the media and Donald Trump and his COVID-19 task force team, you're going to get distracted. You're going to be like, these are the worst times ever. You might become a hoarder. I don't know. You might be the one I be fighting to get some toilet paper from in Walmart. I don't know. But, I joke about it because for me, I don't want to live that life. I don't want to live in fear. This is something that we're going through. It shall pass. But be present on what's going on right now. Take advantage of this time that's taking place because God is speaking. Are you in position to really hear?
That's true.
And I think I'll pick up right there where you left off, Takara, because I feel like for me, I feel like I'm just gonna say it, the Father. What the Father's been speaking to me is that just in this season, there's been like this holy hush. Just that, like literally over the entire nation, there's this holy hush. And basically that's where he's removing all the noise, all the distractions, all the clutter, all the chatter. He's moving all those things so that you can hear him, so you can literally hear him and hear what he's speaking, and so that you can heed to his voice. Sometimes we have so much going on within our world that are in our lives, in our activities of daily living, that we don't we don't pause long enough to hear that still small voice that's speaking to us. So in this season, what I feel like for me, what he's saying is, Tasha, he says, I'm moving all those things out of your life. And you got to think, before this, I was already a homeschool mom. So I was already at home making 3 meals a day. And what I've realized is that I wasted a lot of time. I sent Takara a message the other day that says, I know greatness resides on the inside of me because the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, God dwells in me. So there's greatness living on the inside of me. And I know this, but what do I do to get it out? Where do I begin? And she said, write it out. Put it down on paper. As the word says, write the vision, make it plain, so those who see it can run into it. I need to see it so I can run into it, so I can do what it is and not overthink it. So I just believe, like, for me, it's just that holy hush, that removing all those little things, for him seeing that my kids need to be on a schedule. My kids don't just need to be free falling around here because I homeschool. They still need to be on a schedule. So it's all about just putting ourselves, just structuring ourselves, writing it out, just a holy hush. Just hear my voice. Heed to me. Whatever I'm telling you to do, do it. Do it. Write it down and run into it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Write it down
and run into it. I get to write that down.
Right. Holy
Say that
hush.
one more again.
Oh my God.
Write it down and run into it.
So good.
Roberta?
For me and my family, we've been doing really good. This is giving us an opportunity to be still and just to spend time with each other. We've been so busy with work and everything that we just kind of pass each other by. But this is a time for us to spend quality time with each other. And I think that what you guys were saying before, how you deal with the situation is all about perspective. You can take it and do something with it. And for me, I'm growing. I'm creating skills, developing skills that I didn't even know I had with this whole ordeal. And it's just been really good. It's been really good to do those skills. Because one thing I don't want to be like, when we get out of this season and we're looking into the future, I don't want to look back on this moment and be like, wow, I had 2-3 months where I was able to be still and I didn't do anything with it. I don't want to be in that way. So I'm really trying to use this time to grow. Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny, Roberta, that you said be still, because that was my whole pregnancy. Guys, I don't necessarily know that I heard from God, but whatever that voice is, and I'm still learning who I am within, my religion or not necessarily my spiritual self. So the one thing that I remember throughout my entire pregnancy was be still. Like, lost my job, be still. I think a lot of things were just happening within my world that I just didn't understand where it was coming from, why it was happening. And all moving, everything that was going on. Takara used to know, but everything that was going on. And I just had to learn how to just be still. And that was one within my thoughts, within my mind, within my heart, with who I was speaking with. Like, choose your battles and choose them wisely. Okay. And just learning how to, just, what's the word that I'm looking for? Speak, choose your words, because with what you say to people and how you say it to people is going to come back to you. And then you're going to repeat these cycles, and you don't want to repeat. You want to move forward. You want to move on.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And it's funny you say that because I was privileged to be an ear for one of my dear sisters when she was going through something. And I kept telling her, you don't want to come back to this place. You better get these jewels while you here. You do not need to come back around this mountain no more.
Yep.
And you know, a lot of times because we have to go through this thing again because there's something we missed the first time. And so, you know, I'm a big advocate for take your time on the journey. Don't be so quick to run to where you running past a tool that you're going to need later because you can't go back and grab it, you know. And when I'm saying that, don't judge me because I'm about to age myself just a tad. I think about Super Mario Brothers, right? You going back and you get the coins and you want to be at a certain place and you're like, oh, I missed the coin. Or remember when you were supposed to go down the tunnel and go get the extra coins and you miss it. You can't go back because the video game really, they didn't let you go back and go grab it. Once you pass a certain screen, you can't go back. So the same thing with where we are at right now. And Roberta, you said it clear as day. Take advantage of this time to really understand the fact that this is a time that we will never see again. And if it does come back, it won't be the same. And there's something that we have to get out of it now to take to our next. And so when you said, Tasha, that whole holy hush, look here. Look, I almost got up and ran around this living room because that's where we're at. And if you really look at it from the perspective of, you know, curfews in a lot of cities, we're in quarantine, like literally the world feels like it's coming to a standstill. And when I just did that, I literally like saw a vision of like God rising up and everything is coming to a standstill. So we have to really realize what time it is and how to take advantage of these times. So if somebody's out there struggling on how to take advantage of these times, you need to find time, even if it's 30 minutes a day, to sit with yourself and be able to collect your thoughts. You know, I was talking to one of my friends, she homeschools her son, and I said, girl, you better go to your car for 30 minutes and collect yourself and journal, or, you know, because she's working on a book. And I said, you better go to your car for 30 minutes, turn on the car, sit there with music, you know, whatever you can do. You know, I know a lot of you mommies, well, because I don't know nothing about this life. One of my friends says, I go to the bathroom. When I go to the bathroom, I sit there. That's my time to get away from my child. So, you know, whatever that looks like for us, that's what we have to do. Isha, let's talk about mental health for a minute. I know we talked about this yesterday.
So, I mean, I haven't really talked to anyone personally, but I know there is a possibility that this could be affecting those mental health of other people, especially those who were used to going to work and they were so caught up in their titles and their job was who they were. And now to not be able to fulfill that, and it may make you feel like, okay, now what is my purpose? How am I being useful now? Like, who am I now without, you know, this job? Because I know it's easy to get caught up in titles and we feel like we're so important because I'm this and I'm that, I'm the executive, but now we are at home, and I feel like God has leveled the playing fields for everybody, because it's so easy to get caught up on your high horse and think, you know, I'm better because, you know, I have a job and you don't. Well, now no one can really work. So it's just like, okay, who are you now? And I think this is a good time for us to, like you guys were saying, really look inside and focus on ourselves. If you don't know who you are outside of that job, outside of that title, kind of spend time with yourself to kind of figure that out. Like Takara said, journaling and writing stuff down is pretty much my go-to thing. Like, it's the best thing to do for me in order to kind of organize my thoughts and kind of see where I am and where I want to be. Write down, like, what are some of the things that you're good at? like Roberta was saying, she discovered some things that she didn't know that she could do. I as well. So it's just like when you spend time away from all the distraction and the noise and the day-to-day things, like who are you really? What do you really like? What interests, you besides Netflix and chill? Like that gets old. After you're at home for so long, like you have to find something else to do. And I know a lot of people are struggling, like I'm bored, I don't know what to do, just losing their minds. And it's just like you have to go within. Like you are somebody. You were somebody before, you started that job. And I can attest to this because I know I didn't say lost. I kind of gave up a lot of my creative endeavors once I started college. And then from college went straight into the work world or whatever. So it's just like getting back to those creative things, writing, creating, doing this show is just like some of the things that we're passionate about. That is really what's going to fulfill you and keep you going during these times where it's just like, okay, we at home. And then and I think about, because I used to be a teacher, early childhood education teacher, and those parents are now at home full time with their children. I've spent time with your children, so I know you having a hard time at home with your kids. And it's just like, I know this is opening up a new world for everybody, whether they really have to kind of realize, where they are and what it is that they really have going on and what their limits are, like what can they really do. And at this point, you just really have to take the limits off, because now you're forced. You have to be there. You have to do the homeschooling. You have to do the cooking. You have to, do everything now. So it's just, I think it's really pushing people to kind of get outside of depending on other structures to do things for them. And I know it's a stretch and it's hard, but I think we're going to come out better after all of this is over.
So you were singing my story, right? I feel like Lauryn Hill telling my whole life. Because that's how I evolved into the identity coach. I literally I lost my job. And so when I lost my job, I lost my position, I lost my title, all my achievements didn't matter. And so, that's when I felt like, okay, I was suicidal. I was facing depression. I'm like, who in the heck am I? I didn't know. And it was such a frightening place, but yet I knew God was with me. And it literally transformed me into being the speaker, the model. And then it evolved into igniting the writing. And then it involved, so it's just, you have to dig. And when you dig, I tell everybody, it's worth it. Do the work to figure out you. It's worth it.
Yeah. And I just think that one of the things that it's kind of like I heard you guys saying, either you said it or it's just what I heard, is that when you talk about people coming off their jobs and now they're at home with their kids, what has basically happened is their routine has changed. Their habits have changed, and they don't know how to deal with those routines that have changed and their habits that's changed, which could go into mental health. In other words, it's kind of like, I have nothing to do. So basically, you need to make a new routine. You need to make new habits. And I just want to quote something from John C. Maxwell, and he says, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routines." And that's something that the Father has just been speaking to me, because he told me, put your flesh on a schedule. In other words, if you want to be successful, if you want to do the things that that greatness that's in you, you have to put your flesh on a schedule. In other words, you need a new routine. You need some new habits that's going to basically push you into your greatness. So I would say for mental health, a lot of it boils down to they're outside of their routine. So it's kind of like, what do I do now? Make a new routine, make new habits. And that's going to create that success, that feeling of like, I don't know who I am anymore. So,
right.
Well, and that is the perfect segue. I couldn't have asked for anything more to bring on today's guest. This woman, I feel like I've been knowing her half my life. We've only been connected for a short time, but we know as women, when you're connected to someone who you are supposed to be connected to, it's like, it is just amazing. So, and it is explosive because you guys have collided. So, today's guest, Viola Hall, can you share with us who you are, Queen?
Hello, beautiful ladies. First and foremost, it is an honor to be a part of you guys' platform. You guys are absolutely amazing. I've been listening to the conversations and I'm like, oh, they hitting all in my territory. I love it. I love it. Oh, well, so a little bit about me. Born and raised in Oklahoma City. Guys, to a mother and father, they're absolutely amazing. My parents never were married. And so I basically grew up in a broken home for the simple fact that I did not have two parents in the same household. And see, a lot of people would use that as an excuse. Well, mommy wasn't there, daddy wasn't there together, but not me. I guess I was just a different child. And so as I grew up, my grandmother raised me because my mom is a truck driver and she had to go on the road all the time. And my grandma got to a point to where she couldn't raise me. So she had to send me off to my dad. When I went off to my dad is this entrepreneur. He is, loving, kind, and he takes care of his responsibilities. And that's where I got the entrepreneurship side. But when I was living with him, Takara, I can relate to your story because when I was living there, I had those suicidal thoughts. I had those thoughts of who am I? Why am I here? Do I want to be here anymore? And guys, I was only like in the second grade. Having those type of thoughts. And so what that taught me was that God has a plan for everybody. And see, my plan was that God has something for you. So hang on tight. Okay. So fast forward with that. I had to live with my dad for 4 years. And so that really transitioned me to the athlete that I still am today. I mean, I still, play basketball, but that transformed me to wanting to get out and get away and doing my own things. So fast forward, I moved back to Oklahoma City with my my grandmother. And then I just started playing basketball. I just dove into sports, and that's what really saved me. And so a lot of people right now, they are looking for a way out. And there's hope out there for everybody. Don't utilize wanting to commit suicide as a cop-out. And I say that for the simple fact of that's what I wanted to utilize for my cop-out. But there's people out here who love you. There's people out here who can help you, but a closed mouth don't get fed. And so now it's stronger than ever inside of me that we have to be able to utilize the voice that God has given us. And so I didn't utilize that voice, though. I allowed all of those things to build up inside of me, but I took it out playing basketball. So long story short, I became a super athlete. I graduated college, player of the year. Then I went overseas to play basketball. But that's where I really, really started diving into health and wellness. I've always been this healthy type of person. And so that's where I came to the point of holistic health. As I grew older, there's so many people who think just eating right or just exercising is what's going to help you in your life, but it's not. It's holistic health. You have to have the mind, body, and the spirit in order for you to really thrive and survive in this world today. And that's where I came with holistically you too. So I am a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children. They are 11, 9, and 2 years old. And so I work from home full time in my home-based business, as well as sharing holistic health with people all over the world, being able to help encourage women, inspire them, just utilizing my story and the God-given gifts and talents that he utilized inside of me. So about me, that's pretty much it. I love encouraging people. I love inspiring people. And I just show people who I am just from, displaying my heart.
Let me tell you, you guys have to follow her. So when I was dibble-dabbling in this whole I want to eat right, and you guys know what I mean by dibble-dabbling, don't judge. 1 minute you in, and the next minute you're like, let me get a quarter pounder with cheese, super size. Okay? So dibble dabble, maybe you're thinking McDonald's, maybe it's Five Guys, but you guys know what I'm saying. And so I ran into Viola by an acquaintance of mine, and I started following her on YouTube. She makes some of the most interesting dishes, and I'm like, I would have never thought to eat this, and she makes it make like, oh my god, like so amazing, like mouth watering. And so I love that she shares her journey with us, and her 2-year-old son, who is the blender king, the workout king, and he's working out right along with her. And it's so amazing just how she has embedded her life of being this holistic queen and really pouring it into the lives of us. So, while people are at home during these interesting times, wouldn't you say it would be a great way to kind of test out some of the healthy stuff? We're cooking more. What if we want to try an easy recipe to kind of slide into the whole healthy thing? What would you recommend? And I say slide because it's a journey. So slide into the healthy thing. What would you share?
Absolutely. So this is a marathon. It's not a race. That's what I would tell people. Some people have different willpowers. Like my willpower was I'm going plant-based vegan, period. I'm cutting off the meat cold turkey. But not a lot of people can do that.
No.
So I would say, take it one day at a time. Maybe just say, no meat Mondays. Take a Monday to where you're learning just different things that you can implement into your lifestyle, like just eating more green vegetables, starting your day off with some warm lime water, making you a green smoothie. Just starting you have to put one step in front of the other. You can't just put all of that pressure on you because, like I said, it's a marathon. So if you just start off with one day, saying, you know what, this meal is going to be, plant-based. I'm just going to do a green smoothie or something like that. Then just start off with that day. All of the little baby steps that you take, that's going to eventually lead up to the big ultimate goal that you want to achieve when it comes to your health. And then just start off small when it comes to working out. If you're not used to working out, you're just now starting, go for power walks. That's after I had my son, that's what I did. I had to go for power walks because I had a C-section. So I couldn't just go out there and start sprinting, right? So I had to go for walks. So I put him in his stroller. We went for walks, and that eased me back into my activity, back into my exercising lifestyle. So I would just say, take one step at a time, have a plan, write it out, especially if you're just now getting started. What I used to tell my clients is that take 2 weeks and write everything down, everything that you eat every single day, how much water you're taking in. And that way you can actually see, okay, am I eating enough? Am I not eating enough? Am I getting enough water in? Am I getting enough protein in? That way you can see and you can start making alterations from there and saying, oh, okay, well, this is how it should be set up. So I would just say, create a plan for yourself. And most people fail because they don't have a plan.
Good.
Yeah. But I would say also is to kind of educate yourself on some of the benefits of changing up those habits. Like the more you know, the more you'll see like how much it will actually benefit you versus it's more than just, giving up my favorite food or, not doing such and such. Like we don't understand that the things that we ingest, literally alters our health inside and out. And the more we understand about that, I think it will kind of push us just a little bit more. I know it's hard to give up and old habits die hard. So it's kind of hard to change completely, some things we've been doing our whole life. But just kind of gradually, as you take those small steps, educate yourself on, how this will benefit me. Because a lot of people in our culture, we get the short end of the stick when it comes to diet. The food is good, but it's not good for us. And we take that hit with diabetes and hypertension and that type of thing. And people don't realize like we're literally dying from this. So in order to like really change those habits, just kind of, it'll be good to make yourself aware of some of the health benefits. Because we don't question like, how is this cheeseburger good for me? We just eat it. But when it comes to fruits and vegetables, it's just like, well, I don't know, or should I be eating this, or is it too much, or is it good for me? Like, it's just we have to really shift our mindset around the food that we consume.
So, V, what would you
Absolutely.
suggest? How will we even start that? Because I'm so some fruits aren't good for us because they give too much sugar, right? So how do we just okay, all fruits are good, or do we eat right for our blood type? So when you talk about research, there's so much out there. So what would be some basic tips that you would give to somebody, like where to start besides taking meat out their diet? People think, oh well, I'm eating grapefruit, I'm eating oranges, I'm eating grapes, I'm eating strawberries. Well, there's a lot of sugar in grapes. So, your intake, you can't eat a bag of grapes. So I'm healthy because so help us out with that.
Absolutely. So just to piggyback off of what the young lady said, you definitely want to do your own research. And so before I went plant-based vegan, I actually got on YouTube and I started following people who live that lifestyle. And that's one of the things that we kind of fail to do is we don't educate ourselves on how to actually eat healthy, and that's how I really started to fall in love with the whole industry of eating healthy. And, like she said, African Americans, we are just that type of people who we don't want to educate ourselves. We feel like this is the right way because they've been taught. Well, some of those things that we've been taught is a generational curse that needs to be broken, unfortunately. Right. And so in order for us to be able to break that generational curse, you have to demand that it stops with me. And that's what I did. I told myself that it starts with me. I'm not going to continue that generational curse of diabetes, high blood pressure, not eating right, none of those things when it comes to my family. Like, I'm raising children, and we are the examples of what our children are going to grow up to be. So if we don't teach them now to eat healthy, then guess what? They're going to live an unhealthy lifestyle whenever they get older. So at least I am instilling in their minds and in their brains how to eat healthy, what is healthy, what is not. That way, when they get older, they can start making those conscious decisions instead of those unconscious decisions that has been programmed into their mind from early childhood. So for me, when it comes to how do you choose healthy eating, I would say stick to those that are more closer to the earth. Okay, so I would say your blueberries, especially if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, and stuff like that. Stick to your whole grains, your legumes, your lentils, your nuts and your seeds. Stick to the berries, so your blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. You want to make sure you stick to as closer to the earth than that you can, because that's where we came from. And a lot of people don't understand that we came from the earth. So when we don't eat things that are of the earth, guess what? When it goes into your body, it turns into a foreign object, and your body is trying to read it, and your body is trying to process it. And it's saying like, okay, I don't know what this is. Yes, it tastes good, but now your body is fiending for it more. Why? Because the man has put so many different chemicals and toxins into our food. So now we start to crave those unhealthy foods, that are not healthy for us. So if we stick closer, and I know African Americans, our culture, our people, they don't want to hear that. Why? Because they have been accustomed to eating bad for so long, and people don't understand how unhealthy they are until they get healthy. And then they can start thinking back like, wow, I actually feel good. Once they start changing their lifestyle, changing their diet and exercising, and doing all of those things that they're supposed to do in order to have a healthy lifestyle, then that mind starts to shift and change and say, wow, I feel so much better. Well, that's because you've been feeding your body toxins for so long. And so we think that we're healthy, but in actuality, we're not. So I would just say start with incorporating more leafy green vegetables, asparagus, spinach, kale, just all of those things. And there's so many different ways that you can make your food taste good. Like, you always talk about my food, like, you have to make your food taste good. Like, being plant-based vegan is not boring whatsoever. I still make macaroni and cheese. I still make waffles. I still make pancakes. Like, I still make all of those things for my children. We still eat ice cream. We make tacos and we eat cheese quesadillas, but we don't eat all of those things all of the time. Because when you stay true to the earth, types of foods, then that's when your body is going to start to feel better and crave it. And it just takes one step at a time. Just slowly implementing those things every single day. Eat more vegetables every day. Add more green. Add an extra handful of spinach or a handful of mixed greens, you know, to your lunch or your dinner. And that's just going to slowly start helping to weed out all of those other things that you used to eat. And you start to, you know, live a healthier lifestyle. But then don't buy the junk food either. Don't bring it into your house. Out of sight, out of mind. If you don't want to eat it, don't bring it into your household if you're trying to get healthy.
That's smart. I mean, because sometimes we feel, oh, let me reward myself. I'm gonna go get me some salt and sour Lays, and you're like, no.
Right.
I like something that someone told me a long time ago, and they said they used the analogy that like seasoning is what actually gives your food flavor. Just think about that steak or that chicken. If you didn't season it, it wouldn't taste good. So use seasonings to flavor your food, you know, instead of thinking like, oh, the chicken is so good. No, it's the flavoring.
Yeah.
It's the marinade
Right.
that's on that,
The
that's making it
spices,
taste good.
yeah,
So
the
you can use
herbs,
those same
yeah.
flavorings. You can use those same marinades, and you can use that on something else and create a whole different dish that you don't necessarily need that meat from if you wanted to do that. But I just wanted to give a quick testimony about what Viola said when she first came on, when she said start small. I have been a vegan, I have been a vegetarian, I have been a raw vegan. At some point I have completely just juiced. I done been on just a straight water fast. And one of the things that I learned when she said start small, when I was on this journey, what I just felt within myself is, as I was on this journey, just bouncing from thing to thing to thing, is that I'm not a gazelle. And what I meant by that is like, I heard that in my head, you're not a gazelle. In other words, a gazelle, they can run really fast, 60 to 100 miles per hour. Okay. Literally just 0 to 60 miles, 100 miles per hour. But they can only do that in short bursts. And then the lion comes and it becomes their prey. In other words, just like you said, start off small. So that resonated with me, just like what I'm dealing with personally within myself. And then we were talking about mental health. And I found that when I'm eating these, as I would say, poisons food, these foods that have chemicals, it changes the chemical balance in my head. And there used to be a time when I dealt with anxiety really bad. And I noticed that when I don't eat well, I start having anxiety. So it changes the chemicals, you know, in you. And once I changed my diet, and it's amazing. We know these things, we just don't do them, you know? So, and even right now in this season, I find myself that, you know, I was telling Takara, like anything I eat right now. So this is like, when I get off of here, I'm going to be straight up just, you know, messaging you, because whenever I eat, I get sick. Like, it doesn't matter what I eat. I can eat a banana, I can eat mangoes, I can eat melons. It doesn't matter. I immediately get sick. So I have put myself on this whole little, you know, thing. But anyway, so this is just like when you came on here and she said what you were talking about, I was like, hoorah! No. This is as they say, this is ordained, you know.
Well, the amazing thing about this is Viola's going to be with us every first Saturday, giving us some amazing tips and knowledge from her walk, her journey, and the research that she's done. So it just happened to be we're kicking it off, you know, Vault Talks Women Share at the end of the month. So that means she's going to be with us next Saturday, sharing more tips on how we can transform our lives one step at a time. So how can people keep in touch with you? I mean, of course, you'll be back next week. But if someone wanted to reach out to you, learn more about your services and what you offer, the education behind what you bring, the meal planning that you do, you talk about someone who can give you a meal prep menu.
Please.
This woman is.
Absolutely.
She makes looks so good. You know, like I said, I'm on the journey, and I'd be like, oh my God, if I could just wrap my big old brain around the fact that I can really do that. I mean, I want to reach the computer and grab some of the stuff she makes, especially that green smoothie she makes. You guys are gonna follow her. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. Just check out her.
Yes, just follow me, on Facebook at Viola Hall. I'm on Instagram as well at Rashida32. That's RASHEEDAH 32. I'm on YouTube, so I'm slowly kind of building up my content for YouTube because I want to start putting more out there as far as just different workouts and everything and that I do, and meal planning, meal prepping. So every Monday, I give a Monday motivational video as well as a Monday Madness meals. And so that's where I go through my refrigerator, my pantry, and I figure out what I have in here that I can make to let people know that you literally can make a meal based off of what you have in your refrigerator and in your pantry that's going to be delicious and it's going to be healthy. But the key to that is, do you have that in your home? Or do you just have junk food? So you have to make sure that you're filling your refrigerator with healthy things, filling your pantry with healthy things so that you can put together a meal and just make it delicious and make it healthy. So definitely just reach out to me on Facebook at Viola Hall, and I'll be able to show you guys everything that I do every day, every Monday, every Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. I also go live and I show people different workouts that I'm doing at home without any, minimal to little no weights at all. I only have like 3-pound weights, but I go live at 8:30 in the mornings as well as Fridays at 9:30 a.m. in the mornings. And I just do full body workouts and just show people that you really still can, even though we're going through these times right now, you can still get healthy. You can still get fit. The summertime is coming up. We are not going to be locked down forever. So this is the time now that people really need to start taking their health serious, that people really need to start working out so that when that summertime comes, you will already be prepared. Prepare, okay? You have to get prepared now, not when the summertime comes, now.
I love it. So what we're going to do, B, is if you can provide your information in the comments so people can get in touch with you, that'd be great. And so, wow, thank you guys for making Vault Talks Women Share the Relaunch an amazing experience. Well, there's a couple of announcements. I feel like I'm in church that I need to share before we end our show. So if you feel like you want to be a guest on our show, you can definitely email us at vtws@voos.com. All the information is right there on your screen. If you indeed want to be on our platform, we would love to have you. Just go ahead and shoot us an email there. And if you are a business owner who is looking for a place to promote your business, make sure you email us at the email address that's scrolling down there so we can get in touch with you. We are looking for businesses to promote during our show. Women-owned brands, specifically, since the Vault Talks Women Share, hello. So that would be really great. So if you are a business owner looking for a place to promote your business, make sure you email us at the address below. And I can't forget to give you guys this information on how to follow Vault Talks Women Share on Instagram. So there's a story behind this, and I give it every time. So one of my former co-hosts, aka Gabby Sue, she would hate when we would have to give out our Instagram name because it was super long. It was vault_talks_women_share. So it became like that running joke. And she was like, T, will you ever change it? And I'm like, nope, I'm not changing it. But when I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, then I definitely changed it. So it's follow us at vault_talks. It's real easy. That way you can remember it as well. So we're really excited. Join us next week. Same place, same time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been a pleasure. And I love that I get to close out with this amazing theme song by Liz. Yay. So thank you guys for tuning in to the show, and we appreciate you. Much love.
Thank you guys.
Bye, y'all.
Vault Talks Women Share to be bold and take risks. The talks, women say what they feel and mean what they say. Yeah. The talks, believe in your power, so much power. Yeah. The talks, women share, women share.